going, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Fish Reel. It is your boy, the Fish Flicks. We joining you live here on this glorious evening. I got my boy, the one and only Mr. Power. Y'all seen him. We collaborated on multiple different other occasions. Obviously, we was talking power back then, but today we doing a little bit different. On this edition of the Fish Reel, we're going to be talking all things The Boys, the final season preview and predictions. But before we get into that, my guy, Mr. Power, how we feeling?
Feeling great, man. You?
Man, I'm a little lit right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Just cause I'm like dead ass lit because like I've been you've been seeing I've been posting on social media just how much I've been looking forward to this show. Like I honestly don't think I've ever looked more forward to a season of television like I am this final season of The Boys. Because I'm a day one fan of this shit for real. So the fact that we are here now, it's like it's crazy. Like how are you feeling? You know, it's the course of about what six? No. Yeah, 7 years now. 7 years, 4 seasons, and then we got 2 seasons of a spinoff. We are here at the final season. How are you feeling overall, knowing that the premiere of The Boys is here tomorrow night, practically?
Yeah, it's like a bittersweet feeling for real. Cause like I love the show and it's ending, but I know it's gonna be fire. Like I know they're gonna end on like with a bang, bro. Cause the way Eric Christie be talking about this shit, like I'll be like, all right, bro, I gotta see it. Like, cause you hyping it so much, but the ratings everyone's saying is looking good, and like I mean they've delivered every other season, so like I see no reason for it to not take it another step. So I'm hyped. And I feel like this has been like one of the best years ever for TV and film. Like the content just been so good, bruh. Every time
Yeah,
I'm going to movies, I'm like, damn, like this they're doing their thing right now. I don't know what's going on behind Hollywood, but it's working.
yeah. What in regards to that, real quick, what you're seeing is that you're seeing the effect of that entire backlog of films and TV shows releasing this year because of that was affected by the strikes and having the strikes push everything the fuck back. So now we're getting that abundance. Like now that year is here, 2026, and it's only getting crazier. But yeah, but we before we even get into The Boys, because we gonna be spending majority of the video talking about that. We were talking about just how good of a year it is for TV shows and movies. This week alone, bro, tomorrow, because at 6 p.m. tomorrow, the next episode of Daredevil Born Again drops. I don't know if you keep tuning with that. That shit has been absolutely fire. In my opinion, I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but it's this second season is on the level of the original Netflix series. How you feeling about that?
I don't know if I'm ready to say that. I gotta see more. I gotta see more. Because the original was like masterpiece for me. I was a
Fact.
little skeptical when they wanted to bring it back because I'm like, why? Like some things got to be left alone. But like, I feel
Mhm.
like the longer he plays this role, the better he's getting. So I'm cool with it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it feels like this is kind of like these 2 seasons of Born Again, because originally this wasn't supposed to be a continuation of the Netflix Daredevil. It was supposed to be something different, but along the way during like I believe through filming episode 5, they realized what they were doing. They were like, "Yo, this shit ain't working. We got to go back to the shit that was working." So they brought back the writers from the original show, and now we are actually seeing that progression. So, in my opinion, these 2 seasons actually feel like season 4 of that Daredevil series. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. Getting the old writers was like, it's like almost like, it's like Avengers getting back the Russo brothers. Like, you got to
Exactly.
just stick with what you know, bro. Because like once you start deviating from what the audience is used to, like they're just gonna kind of tune out. So I think they've done a good job with that. I feel like they can milk this show for another 4 or 5 seasons again if they really want to. I don't know if they should though.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
all dependent. Like you're gonna bring back the OG actors, you gotta just continue on with that story for sure. But
yeah.
yeah, Daredevil Born Again has been super fire. Can't wait for that. But not only that, well, I think the show the show that's been going crazy each and every episode is Invincible. It damn near feels like I can't breathe at some points during this series, this season. Like this shit is just so intense.
Swear to God.
And we
Yeah.
are we are on episode 6 tomorrow night, 5 episodes in from episode 5. Have you fully recovered from that episode yet?
A little bit, a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, bruh. There's like, I'm very insensitive to a lot of like the stuff that's on TV. So like, I
Hmm.
usually think, oh, it's real. It doesn't bother me. But
Yeah.
that fight with Conquest, the second one was like, damn, I felt uncomfortable. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't look away, but I low key wanted to. And it was like, okay,
Yeah.
like they're doing their thing. I really think Invincible is one of the best shows just ever. Period. The
Mhm.
storytelling is like insane. The Viltrumites and stuff, bro. Like it's all I see on my feed. People making memes of it. Like that's just peak storytelling. It don't get better than that. And I've heard some complaints about the animation. I don't know if you've heard that, but
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't bother me. I think it works for the style that they're doing. So I don't know what the problem is.
Honestly, the animation style, like sometimes how it can be a little bit like stickish, it gives it
Yeah,
its own like character and flavor in my honest opinion. So I honestly don't even mind the animation. I've seen worse in my honest opinion.
yeah.
Like dead ass, I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
worse. So
Yep.
but Invincible, yeah, that fight with Conquest, I definitely agree with you. That shit was just intense because Robert Kirkman, he kept teasing like, yeah, well, this season has its most brutal scene yet. So I'm pretty sure we saw that scene that he was referring to in this episode with the guts being ripped out as he's choking the life out of Conquest. But just, who would have thunk? Because I don't know if you really kept up with the comics of this series at all or anything. But yeah, because I'm asked that because from season one, it seemed like, this father-son story, and then, the truth about the father being this alien, honestly, from this other planet to conquer. Who would have thought we would have got this far and this shit would get this wild? It's like, as someone that didn't keep up with the comics, it's like, whoa, I did not see us getting to this point. Like, whoa. But
Me neither, bro.
yeah, that this shit is actually intense, and it's like, it's very character driven too, still, in all honesty, with Mark battling them demons, and wanting to go all out with his power. So so you have any other additional thoughts you want opinions on episode 5 Invincible?
Yeah, so like I wasn't
Hmm.
when we got to like this last episode, as soon as I watched the episode, bro, I got to like watching YouTube videos to like they recap the whole
Yeah.
comic. Like I watched like 2 3 hour YouTube videos because I just had to know, bro. Like I needed to know
Hmm.
what's gonna happen. Like I can't wait a week, whatever. And that shit is peak, bro. Like it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. I can't wait to see it animated. And I heard him say he wants to do like 9 10 seasons, so I'm in for that. Keep it going.
Yeah, I agree because I
Yeah.
looked up like the physical copies of those comics, nigga. Those pages are real thick. Those so there's
Yeah.
still a hell of a lot of story for them to go to. Now, obviously, they're gonna adapt some things, and some things aren't gonna be included. Which something that happens to Mark in the comic is definitely not gonna happen in that show. If you know what
You
I'm
read
referring.
that? You read that?
Yeah,
You read
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know,
yeah,
Loki. I've been wondering if they're gonna put that in there, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'm not gonna lie. You can't
yeah.
not put that in there. Like it's an important part of the comics. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You
yeah,
have to.
yeah. So those of you that don't, well, spoiler alert for those that don't know about the comics, but there's a scene because the character of Anissa, that Viltrumite, she pretty much takes Mark and puts it on him, even though he doesn't really ask for it. She forces her way on to Mark, and so something, when two people decide to get down, another form of life possibly comes into fruition. So that's why he's saying like it's a major point because it genuinely is. So I think if they were to adapt that from the comic, it would have to be taken a whole hell of a lot more seriously because in the
Yeah.
comic when it happens it's kind of taken like a little bit like a joke in a way and not serious enough. So if you're gonna do that, it's gonna be controversial as hell, and it's animated, and it's gonna be, you have to take like very very some real big adaptations and some loose changes to that if you're gonna do that. So yeah. And so how are you feeling going into episode 6? It's looking like Thrag is gonna have a major presence in this episode.
Bro, I just want to see Thrive. Fuck all these. I just want to see Thrive, bro. When I was reading the comics, like the way they was gassing Thrive,
Hmm.
nobody could rock with him for real.
Hmm.
Like he's way stronger than everybody else, you know? And it's wild because like you see the battle with Conquest the first time, and you're like, there's no way that there's anybody stronger than this.
Hmm.
But there is. And there's multiple people stronger than Conquest. So I'm like, I'm just hyped to see that. I have to see like Omni-Man and his whole redemption arc is like very interesting. I think he's the best character on the show. Like the best
Hmm.
thing they can do is give Omni-Man more screen time. Like everybody
Yeah.
fucks with him. Everybody. Mark is like, sometimes I like him, then I don't, you know?
Yeah. Just because it's
Yeah,
the principle of things and shit he
yeah.
said about moms being a pet, which is still wild to this
Yeah,
day.
yeah, G, bro. He don't care. He don't care. He's a Viltrumite. He
No, what
don't
I am
care.
curious about, like what you mentioned with Omni Man and him on his redemption arc, I'm very curious because we're going to be seeing a lot of him bonding and getting to know Oliver, and Oliver really going to be able to express himself and talk to his dad. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out because Oliver, he don't really know Omni Man. He know like stories, literally just stories. So him actually getting that moment of time with him and Omni Man coming from a different place in his life and just actually wanting to be a better man as a father, it's going to be interesting to see their dynamic and how he's able to raise them up. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good because Oliver's weak. I'm sorry. Like no one wants to say it, but this kid is like he don't got the same that Thraxa blood just don't hit the same, bro.
Yeah, that
It's
shit
just
holding him back. That shit's holding
yeah,
him
like
back.
every fight they're in is like he was in a position so many times to get killed, and obviously plot armor is gonna keep him alive. But that one scene with Conquest before before Mark comes, he should have died. We know he should have died.
It was over
So
for that nigga
yeah, I
if it
think
wasn't for
yeah,
Park.
over, yeah. So I think Omni-Man could definitely like teach him some stuff as being one of the strongest people ever on that planet. Should be good. And then like see the recovery of Mark because that scene of him being out with his guts out and his hands on, I'm like, damn, bro. Like finally
Yeah,
respect him. He finally did something where I'm like, all right, you did this. Because the first battle, Eve, low key, saved him.
yeah, yeah. That nigga gonna
Yeah.
be sitting for half the season. That type
For
shit.
real, you think so?
No, like when I mean like half the season, like half the football, basketball season type ordeal.
Yeah.
I think they're
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
on that planet for like some months, and then they're gonna be
Yeah,
able
a
to like
couple
go
months.
back because they ain't got no Pentagon fucking tech to help him heal and shit. And all that nigga got to recover straight out of the mud. So that shit gonna be a little bit, but it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. So I can't wait to watch some Invincible. So it's gonna be a very long evening for us folks enjoying some good old comic book TV. But this is what happens. This is the life of being a nerd. This is the benefits of it. But for the main event, my good folks, well, we are here today mainly for the final season of The Boys. It's finally here. Now, from 4 seasons, man, I want to say this show is honestly one of the most consistent, high quality shows ever made, in my honest opinion. Because through each season, there's like no skips on the episodes. Even season 4, some folks had some issues with season 4, and I had my issues too, but I still very much enjoyed season 4. And I did a rewatch of The Boys, and I'm like, okay, there's some things I see that he was going for and setting up for throughout. So how do you feel from the previous 4 seasons? In my sentiment being that it's one of the most consistent shows out there.
Yeah, like it's evident. The Boys is one of those shows where like if you watch episode one, you're gonna be hooked. Like that was for me. Like I caught it, I think I caught it when they were like 2, 3 seasons in. But I just watched that first episode. I remember that scene with Huey and A-Train just going boom, and all you see is the blood, and I'm like, there's no way he just did that. There's no way.
I had to rewind that scene when that shit happens.
Yeah, a couple times. And I was just like, okay, this is a different type of show. Like the superheroes aren't the good guys here. You know what I mean? That's different. So for me, that hooked me all the way. And then Homelander, Anthony Starr, I think he's one of the best actors in the game. Like he just kills it. Every episode, obviously he's the best character. And then Butcher, Kirk, or like everybody's good. So I'm hype. I'm hype. I just want to see how they finish it because I never read the comics or nothing. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not really missing out on much from the comics. I
Yeah.
haven't actually read them, but I've like looked it up. The comics are pretty fucking filthy. I'm gonna just keep it real. They're filthy. It's just a motherfucker just doing shit just to do shit because he can type shit. So that's all that is. So you ain't missing much. And they actually delved away from the comics a pretty good deal. So you're really not missing out. Just like few minor little key details. But based on what happened this final season, the ending, they're playing it pretty like somewhat close. But like the major twists and reveals, which I won't speak on, you don't have to worry about that shit happening at all. Like I'll say it, just that Black Noir is actually a fucking Homelander clone. And that
Yeah, I heard that, bro. I'm like, no
yeah,
way.
yeah, that's what the twist is in the comic book. Like I get to, we know right now, and we've seen Black
They better
Noir.
not
That
do
shit
that.
is not happening. That shit is
Yeah,
not happening at all. So we don't have to worry about that shitty twist ending at all.
thank
But
God.
some things that Butcher does, I'm a little worrisome. But I'm not gonna spoil it. That's all I'm gonna say right there. But with 4 seasons in and looking back where we left off these characters, we got some. The boys are all in concentration camps outside of Starlight, who is leading this resistance with A Train, and Butcher. He's doing his own thing, but he has the virus in his hands. And based on the trailer, he gets back into contact with Samir, Victoria Newman's lover, which is wild to see them together just based on the fact that Butcher killed Vicky and he chopped off this nigga's leg in season 4. So it's going to be interesting to see the explanation for why they are together, but obviously because they have that virus. So where we're at here, man, is this looking like this is like the darkest season yet based on the reviews that we have seen. And I've read upon some reviews, and what I've been seeing is that it absolutely is the darkest season yet. It's brutal and it's bloody, and that all the reviewers have only seen the first the 7 episodes. The final episode, they're holding that tight to the vest. Nobody has seen that from what I've seen so far. So nobody knows how exactly how it ends, but it's gearing that way. But across the board, from what I'm seeing, is overly positive. Some people think this may be the best season yet of The Boys, and that they're ending on a high note, and that we are not going to be in another Game of Thrones type situation. So, so we all know that, and we've seen Kripke. He specifically states that he doesn't want to be in a Game of Thrones type situation. He was very nervous of that. So, what do you think? Could this possibly be the darkest and best season of The Boys yet? And if so, let me know. Also, too, out of the previous 4 seasons of The Boys, what would you say is your favorite? Because everybody that knows me knows
Probably
it's
season
3.
3.
Yep.
Yeah, probably season 3. Yeah, but even last season had a lot of. He
Mhm.
really taking. This is his show, bruh. This is Homelander show. Let's just make that clear. That's who we tuned in to see, bruh. Anthony Starrs. So I mean, all of the seasons have been good. I know some people complained about last season. The only thing I didn't like is like some of the like sexual scenes were just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only problem I have. Outside of that, the storytelling is great, acting is great, action is great. They give you everything you want in the show. So I'm expecting my expectations are high for episode 1, man. They better show me something that's like, oh shit, someone better die off, rip out of that group, Frenchie and them. Someone got to go in episode 1 because there's no way all of these people should have made it this far. There's no
Yeah.
way. Somebody got to go. So I'm expecting bloody, a lot of blood, a lot of betrayal, a lot of sneaky shit. Everyone's gonna be for themselves.
Yeah, this is a war. Like we're seeing, this is Kripke said, like this season of The Boys is their version of the apocalypse, pretty much. So, and that everybody has been saying across the board, like everybody, the cast, the crew, said like a lot of people are gonna die, and I've seen rumors of that the range is like 6 to 7 major characters dying, which that's people on both sides of the teams that's gonna be up out of there. And I have my thoughts on somebody that has to go in the first episode, in which I'm very curious to see if you agree. So the character I'm gonna start off with, man, because in my honest opinion, with his character arc and where things have been going, I don't see him lasting past episode 2, and that's me being generous. Is A Train? Tell me what you think. Speaking of A Train, let me know your thoughts on his overall character journey, because he's the character that pretty much kicked off all of the events of this series. So,
Yeah.
and then leading up to him now and having this redemption arc. So, how do you feel about A Train as a character, his arc, and what are your predictions on his fate and when it would happen?
I love A-Train, bro. He's so funny. Like he's definitely one of the best characters. And he definitely went from like bad to good now,
Hmm.
which I like. So like he's part of the resistance now. He's with Starlight and them. So I feel like the only way to kind of end that is to kill him for real. Because there's no way Homelander's gonna let A-Train live. I just can't imagine if he gets hold of A-Train, is over. Anybody who gets in the realm of Homelanders is in danger. And we know that Soldier Boy back. I'm excited for his spinoff. I think that's gonna be fire too. I don't know, man. I like what they're doing right now. They should spin off something else. If some of these characters survive, like I don't know why Gen V ended so early. I don't know, maybe you could speak to that, but I feel like they could have kept it going.
Yeah, so with Gen V, so there's no official confirmation on if it's still going or canceled yet. They said they're still awaiting things. So my fingers are just crossed on, like, hopefully it's just a red herring and that they're just waiting to do any further announcements till after season 5 ends and how they want to go about things. So that's just how I hope it is. There's talk of another spinoff, The Boys Mexico, a Mexico-based spinoff of The Boys. It's still in active development, so they're still like trying to write and craft that story out. There's been no updates on that quite yet, but Vought Rising, that's looking like that's gonna be probably next spring at the earliest, because they finished filming, so they probably gonna do post and everything, let the focus on The Boys marinate. So if I was to guess, probably the earliest you'll see that is March. But yeah, man, A Train is just, his character journey is just insane. And with the point that he did get that hero arc and just that moment of him, that kid seeing him actually looking him as a hero, and him actually looking at like the him reflecting on the errors of his ways and just seeing just how that moment with Huey has just affected him and just he's been connected ever since. So this was a character that I thought we was never gonna like and we was gonna like predict his death to be like something crazy, but no, his death might still be crazy because Homelander, I don't know if you remember, Homelander was shedding some tears over A-Train. He really felt betrayed by A-Train for
Yep.
real. And there's a scene of that looks so crazy in the trailer of Homelander just running through some trees in the forest. I'm like, I'm curious, what do you think? Could he possibly be chasing A-Train in that scene?
I hope not, man, because if he is, A Train's gone, you know? And like, I don't want him to die early because he's one of the OGs that obviously set this up. So I think they should drag that out at least a little bit more, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because the later he dies, the harder it's going to hit. If you just kill him off early, it's like, damn, you know, but if
Mm-hmm.
you give it time, let Homelander chase after him, finally get him towards the end, I think that'll hit a little bit harder. But who knows? But I'm expecting a major death, episode one. You got to. It's the last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and with the way things been going, it's gonna be curious. But my prediction here is that I don't see A Train lasting past episode 2. I think he's gonna get his big like. I don't know if you remember X-Men Days of Future Past, that Quicksilver scene. I think he's gonna get a moment like that when he goes to help save the boys out of that concentration camp, and that's gonna be his swan song essentially, and that's where Homelander comes in. Shit hits the fan, and you remember the shit that he did to Webweaver? Like that was just disrespectful what he did to Webweaver. That was crazy.
Homelander don't play, man.
Yeah, Homelander is he's fucking insane. And so, you know what? I brought up A Train. And speaking of Homelander, man, him being the face, fuck it, let's go to him, man. Homelander is just, in my opinion, he is the greatest TV supervillain of all time, in my honest opinion. And now I know everybody, you got your picks from your other shows, and I totally respect that and I get that. But from what we've seen through 4 seasons going into 5, with what they've done with Homelander is just insane. His character journey, his motivations, it's all kind of justified. It's all kind of earned just when you see how he was practically brought up in a lab and basically made into this figure by bought, and it came back to bite them in the ass. Everything that's going down is earned, and it's just top. This is just the cherry on top with Anthony Starr and his performance as Homelander. It's just, I don't know if you can get any more perfect. In my honest opinion, I think the best portrayal of Homelander is season 3, because he was just losing his motherfucking mind, and that's where like the real Homelander really like started to come out up to now. And now he's looking to seek immortality by getting that V1, which is just, I don't know about you, but I get chills just from the thought of Homelander being immortal. But going on, 4 seasons into 5, how do you feel about Homelander and his pantheon?
Homelander's definitely up there with one of the best TV characters of all time. It's like not even a debate. There's so many memes. There's so many moments. Like he just every time he's on screen, bro, you know something wild is going to happen or be said because he
Mm,
doesn't care. He's like the embodiment of like who everybody really wants to be. They want to
mm,
be powerful and they want to be able to say whatever they want to whoever they want, however they want, whenever they want.
yeah.
And he does that. So, but the thing is with these shows, bro, like immortality isn't a real thing. You know what I
It's
mean? Like they say that the Viltrumites are immortal, but like they can die. Everyone can die. There's always going to be some sort of cure or virus or whatever that someone's going to develop. So even if that does happen with Homelander, they'll probably find some loophole to kill him. I
mhm.
don't. There's no way he survives. I just can't. I can't see it. He killed too many people.
Exactly. And I'm glad you spoke on that, because I've been reading online and I just see, man, and this theory just totally gives fucking college film student thinking there just came up with the most amazing revisionist idea in the world for this, is by people saying that maybe Homelander should fucking live, and they should just have him be depowered and locked away in a jail somewhere as a regular human being, as they say. That's more torturous than death. That's worse than death. And I'm just like, no, no, not for a show like this. Not for all the shit that he's done. I want to see Homelander get his motherfucking ass beat. Like, we gotta, because think of it like this. And I'm gonna ask you this, man. Do we really think Billy Butcher would ever let Homelander live if given the chance.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. Like
The
this
whole
is the
point of the
whole
show has
point.
been literally him trying to kill Homelander.
Literally, like
Yeah, so like if that doesn't happen, then I would question what the point of all of this was. Like, it's like the climax. He has to die. He has to die very well. It can't just be some regular ass death like it's Homelander. So
yeah.
that's where I'm like, yo, I can imagine the pressure that Eric Kripke probably felt right in the end of the season because I feel like no matter what happens, people are going to be upset.
Mhm,
There's going to be people who are going to be upset. So
mhm.
I'm itching. I can't wait. This
Yeah.
is leak it. Just leak it right now.
Honestly.
I'll watch it right now. Just leak that shit, bro.
Yeah, this dude was just in. There's a shot of him in the president's office. Which, if you've seen that shot, that's a classic shot from the comics where I totally predict it's not going to end well for the so-called president in that universe. Because yeah,
Yep.
if he's sitting there in that chair, it's gonna be something wild. And yeah, Homelander, his death, I've been saying this for the longest period of time. The death of Homelander is gonna go down as the most satisfying death in the history of TV. Now I know the death of Joffrey, that one takes the cake, but that one was that one was because that shit was so unexpected and different.
He's who I think is the best villain
Yeah,
because he played that shit so good, bro. He had to stop his career. Like people actually hated him. They
yeah.
thought he was actually like it's bad. Like people talk about that shit with Tariq. It's not on the same level.
No.
Like this man stopped acting for years because of that shit.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I
like
mean?
he said, I want to be a regular nigga for a little bit, bro.
Hey, very few people have played a role that well, like
Yeah,
to the point
and
where they can't act no more.
yeah, I mean, honestly, some people say in real life Anthony Starr really is Homelander, just based on some shit I've read upon too about it. I'm like, oh yeah, this dude wild. But yeah, his death is gonna be something that is just gonna be so crazy. Some people honestly said they predict that his death might happen not even in the final episode, maybe in a possible earlier episode, as early as episode 6. What do you think about that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely, absolutely not. Absolutely. That's like you're gonna kill the main character before the series finale? Are you
Because some people
serious?
predict Butcher is the ultimate final villain, which I agree to some extent he will be, but not to like the level a lot of other people think. What do you think about that as well?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if Butcher died too, man.
He has to die, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
They both have
because
to die.
he's not the best person either. You know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah,
I feel like him chasing Homelander because he's the bad guy. He's becoming the bad. He's becoming what he hates most. So I think the
yeah,
consequences definitely have to. He got to face that, man. Butcher can't. Butcher keeps escaping death. Like he should
yeah.
have been died low key, bro. He
It's
should
like
have been died.
it honestly feels like
Yeah.
because if you really look at Butcher and Homelander, there's a lot of similarities between them two as characters. There's a lot of similarities, and so they kind of go together like yin and yang. So if one goes down, the other has to go as well, in my honest opinion. So that's how I honestly look at it. And speaking of Homelander, I think a major plot point that has been rumored to be tied to Homelander, which I think could be like a major thing that sets off the chain of events in this final season is if Starlight somehow, some way gets Flight 47 finally leaked out and everybody in the world finally see what Homelander does. And we know what Homelander threatened to Starlight when she threatened about that video before about him just killing everybody. Maybe this is like that video being leaked is what gets him to ultimately start to seek out wanting immortality amongst other things. How do you feel about that? Do you think that video gets leaked this season?
It has to. If it's
Mm.
going as dark as they say it is, like they gotta go all out, bro. Homelander has to get exposed,
Mhm.
because how's he gonna react when that goes public? You know what I mean? That's when we're gonna see like the rawest version of him, like survival mode, everything. So that's gonna be lit. That's gonna be lit. I'm curious how Soldier Boy is gonna play a part in all of this
Mhm. See?
because he should be dead, but they loved him too much, so they brought him back. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, so we can since you brought him up, we can transition on over to Soldier Boy. Now, it's been spoken about from the people that have seen the first 7 episodes. They said that Soldier Boy gets a lot of screen time and that he honestly has he's one of the characters that has the most screen time this season. How do you feel about Soldier Boy as a character, and are you looking forward to seeing him a lot this season based on what I've said?
Yes, more screen time. That was smart. You know, that's one of the things about these shows and like shows today. Like they see what the fans like and they give more of it. Homelander and Soldier Boy are great characters. I'm guessing they're probably gonna have a lot of screen time together. So
Hmm.
those two alone on screen is like, I'm not complaining. I like what I'm hearing. Now, the fact that they let them watch 7 episodes and then left the last one, that tells me the last one got to be crazy and they don't want no spoilers.
Hmm.
You
Shit
you
out
have
the
to,
book.
yeah, so I'm cool with that. That's how it should be because this would be a painful show to get spoiled. Like if you've been watching from the beginning,
Hmm.
to not get to see it play out on screen would like I'll crash out. I crash out.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
crash
I would
out.
crash out too because I'm
Yeah.
a day one fan of this show. I remember I was seeing previews for this show while I was working at AMC during the summer, and they were showing the show. I'm like, I was looking around, I was like, what the fuck is this? This looks different. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Yeah, go watch it. It's on Prime Video." So I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll turn it on," and I've been hooked ever since. So I totally agree with you on that. And Soldier Boy is one of those key reasons why, because he was honestly his presence in season three, which I think is the peak of the show. His presence only enhanced it so damn much. Soldier Boy is such a great character, so insane and wild, and it's going to be very interesting to see his interaction with Homelander this season. Which those two just standing side by side together is just utterly insane, and everybody should be scared to death dealing with those two together. And probably a major reason why some folks is probably with, yeah, let's go ahead and release a soup virus because you have those two together. And Soldier Boy as a character, it's going to be interesting because that dynamic, because when we talk about Homelander, he never really had any parental figure. He never really got the nourishing love and upbringing that he needed. So could we possibly see some father son bonding between these two, or will they just ultimately implode at the end because of their egos? Is it ultimately going to lead to implode, or is it going to work out? Do you feel?
It's honestly hard to tell. Because on
Hmm.
one end, it's like that's his dad, but at the other end, like Soldier Boy is not the typical person you wouldn't call him a father. You know what I mean? They're both so intense and like alpha in their own way. It's like it's hard to imagine them like being on the same team or like one of them conceding to each other. So I think it'll be a little bit of both. Like there'll be some bonding, but like eventually it's all gonna crumble.
Hmm.
So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And if Homelander dies and Butcher dies, I'm pretty sure Soldier Boy's gonna be added to that death list because also too we got to remember Soldier Boy is the character with the ability to take that compound V out of other soups. So do you think that will play a major role in this season? And who could you possibly see him using?
Homelander,
Yeah, that's a good one.
that'd be the only one that would really matter. To be
Mhm.
honest, everybody else is like, all right, but like the ultimate goal is kill Homelander. That's been the
Mhm.
premise of the show. Kill Homelander. They made a whole series based around trying to kill Homelander, bro. So
Exactly.
like, if he did it, that'd be crazy. If his son did it, that'd be crazy. So I don't know. This Soldier Boy is definitely gonna be a dangerous character this season. I don't think you could trust him at all. Like, he's unpredictable. I wouldn't trust him at all.
And he's gonna be gunning for Butcher. Now, can you
Yep.
imagine this scenario? Imagine a scenario where Soldier Boy gets injected with that virus and it causes him to fuck up. And what if it's because I've read something about this too, that he ultimately like he lets off that power one last time and it goes on Homelander and he ultimately explodes. Could you see something as crazy as that go down?
Didn't that happen the first time?
Yeah, but
And he
when I say
survived.
explode, I
Yeah.
mean as in like bodily organs, all that gone type
Mm.
ordeal.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. And it's like if he's getting a prequel,
Hmm.
there's no point of keeping him alive, you
Yeah.
know? So it makes sense for him to die.
Hmm.
Yeah, focus on that prequel, bro.
So
Uh,
that's Soldier Boy. So yeah, Soldier Boy, one of the best, and he's probably going to play a pivotal role. Now we were speaking about him earlier. We can go right into Butcher. Now Butcher, it's going to be very interesting to see. Like, let me ask you: do you think because we see them all linked up together again, them teaming up for one last go, and Butcher really trying to release this soup virus out onto the world, and it's ultimately going to affect everybody with soups. Like it's going to be a mass genocide. So number one, how do you feel about Butcher as a character? And number two, do you ultimately think he's gonna be able to fulfill his wish of releasing that virus?
I think he will. Cause Butcher don't care, bro. Like he's so selfish. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like every time it's the same thing. Like Butcher round everybody up. let's go one last run. Let's try to get Homelander one more time. Like that's the whole premise of the show. So like even within that, like they all disagree with him on a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure they're gonna disagree with him on that.
Mhm.
And he's gonna go ahead and do it anyway because he don't care. And he knows they'll forgive him like they
Mhm.
always do. So I feel like Butcher has a lot of power here within this next season. He's another character I feel like could die. Like I feel like all these people could die. You know?
Yeah.
Bloodbath. Kill them all. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, with that virus, I mean, them knowing about the effects of making it even more powerful, we don't know if they know the full extent or if they know that's part of Butcher's true plan. But with them all linked up together, I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume they know like Butcher is trying to release that, and could they possibly be contemplating agreeing with him per se. Now, and it sounds like that means Kimiko and Starlight, they willing to put their lives on the line just to kill Homelander. Like, that right there just shows you just how big the stakes are this final season and just how heavy it's going to be. And with Butcher, you know, as you mentioned it earlier, he pretty much became the very thing that he hates. He hates soups. Him and Homelander are just alike, so there's no way he survives. There's no justifiable reason for him to survive. Now, how does he die is the question. Does somebody take him out, or does he ultimately succumb to that tumor, that super tumor that he has? What do you think about?
I think it's likely the super tumor at this point. Because, like, why add that in if that's not gonna? How many
Mhm.
more chances can you give Butcher? Like, he gotta go. He's escaped death a couple times as well. Everybody's escaped death a couple times. So I don't know. I feel like I could see him like killing Homelander and then him
Mhm.
getting killed or him dying. But like, I don't see him making that out at all. I don't see a happy ending for Butcher. I don't see a happy ending for nobody. Nobody. No one's innocent here. Except for
Yeah,
maybe like Starlight, I guess. He
honestly, and honestly, this, you know, a lot of shows they sit there and say, "Oh, nobody's safe." Honestly, I don't think that statement right there resonates any more well than with this show here, and I actually believe like nobody is safe. But I like you brought her up too. I think we can go into these characters next. I think the only two characters that are for surely safe are Huey and Starlight because number one, Huey, he's the heart and soul of the team. He's the one that instills hope. He is like the genuine, like true, decent, good guy out of everybody. I feel same with Starlight in a way. But if you was to kill Huey, that would just feel so cruel, in my honest opinion. Just because of the way he started out this show, him losing his girl, and then to kill him off, that would just be so cruel. And I feel like him and Starlight being the survivors, they'll be the ones to like lead the new world in a way or however that be. But let me ask you, do you agree like they are the two characters out of everybody in the show that are safest, and just how do you feel about those two as characters just overall?
I like Huey because they made him feel bad. They made us feel bad for him, like
Mhm.
off rip, the first 5 minutes of the episode. So, like, you're really kind of seeing the show through his perspective, and like the soups through his perspective, and everything like they're going through his perspective. So, I definitely fuck with Huey. Starlight, like everybody loves Starlight. Everybody's been a fan of Starlight from the beginning. So, but it's hard to say that they're the safest because I still don't think they're safe. And like you said, I think Huey dying would be cruel. That's what they do. Imagine him dying in the first episode. We'd all be like, "Oh, like we wouldn't expect that." That's what we should expect. Like
I might
they
break
don't
something if
expect
that
that.
happens, honestly.
Yeah, that would suck. But what if Starlight died? Like I don't think anyone's safe. To be honest, Frenchie, Kimiko, I think they're high on death list, death alert too. The little
Mhm.
side characters, they all in the red.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go into them now. Let's go into them in transition. Kamiko, Frenchie. Now, if we like nobody's safe, we've established that. But if out of all the boys, we said Butcher is like 100%, and then when it comes to those three, it's like, you know me, man. I might go rage and break some shit if dies. In my honest opinion, I might rage and go the fuck off if dies. But I'm gonna be honest with you. After sitting here thinking for the last couple days, I'm starting to think he it might be a wrap for him because we remember his girl and his daughter. They're in Belize somewhere. He sent them off and he stayed back and he got put into a concentration camp. And we know, I think it's what like 6 months to a year has passed by since then. I want to say since season 4. So Lord knows if his family's good, if he more than likely hasn't spoken to them, and we've read upon is gonna go down a very dark path to where he somewhat aligns with Butcher in a way, like, yeah, we should just all go down. So I'm pretty fearful, like, his water might get cut off, man. But Frenchie, I think out of those three, if you had to rank him, I think Frenchie's number one. I think he's for surely up out of there. I think Frenchie's out of there. How are you feeling about those three?
Yeah, I think Frenchie and Kimiko are like the two characters we probably care about the least. Like if either of them dies, it wouldn't bother me. Like I would expect it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I like Frenchie a little bit, but Kimiko, because she was like never spoke, I
Hmm.
just found it hard to like resonate with the character. I was like, why is she still here? Like, why is she still alive? She should not be alive. Someone like
Uh-huh.
Homelander should have been smoked her. So I expect those two characters to bite the bullet. But MM would definitely hurt, man. The whole family thing, like to see the relationship crumble with his family and then for him to go, that would hurt. There's a lot of people in this show that if they died, people would be hurt. Like they have a lot of characters people love. So I think that's why it's gonna be so deadly this season because it's a long list of people.
Yeah, I honestly think right now, I honestly think it's a coin toss. But Frenchie, I want to say, yeah, he's for surely. I like Frenchie, but he kind of annoyed me in season 4 just because it's it's like, why the fuck would you try to fuck around with somebody whose family you killed? You know you killed them. Like, why would you do that? Like, that was just stupid to me. But I'll speak on Kamiko real quick. From the reviews, from what I've heard about Kamiko, I've heard that she steals the show a lot throughout the final season, and her talking is a big key point, and that's like what resonates with people. So you might fuck with her some more in this final season. What do you think about that? Because remember, she could talk now.
Yeah, if you could talk, that changes things because then we
Hmm.
can actually attach some emotion and some like humanity to her character. That's
Hmm.
cool. And I think if she dies, it'll hit even harder because we view her differently now. Like we've had it. Because essentially now that she talks, she's a different character to me. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see what she says, what she thinks of different things. If she gets darker too, you know what I mean? I think everybody's just gonna go dark
Hmm.
because the stakes are so high, like you said. So it's the last season.
Hmm.
People don't understand, bro. Like when you go into the last season of a series, like everything's heightened, man. The stakes are high. Anyone can go on a show like this.
Yeah, and
Anybody.
we're talking about a situation of
Yeah.
soup genocide or an evil fucking egotistical motherfucker getting immortality. Like, it don't get any more crazier than that. And with Kamiko, because we got to remember about Kamiko, she has a healing ability. We've seen her survive a lot of shit. So even if Homelander was to laser her, I think she would just regenerate. So I think the only way she dies is if she gets affected by the virus. So could you see her possibly getting hit with that virus if it gets released?
Yeah, I can see a lot of them getting hit by that virus because of
Mm,
Butcher and him just being alone and everyone else is dead and he gotta like face with that shit because the path he's on, like, he's not really thinking clearly anymore. Like, you
hmm.
know, yeah, you want to kill the soups, but like if it can kill all the soups, what about the people that you care about that are soups? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're contradicting what you're trying to do. So it's interesting, gonna be interesting to see him battle with that.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Like, 'cause I'm pretty sure they're gonna delve even deeper into that virus and its effects on, like, and if it's possibly released, they're gonna test that shit out and everything. I'm very curious to see because, like, how would it just spread out? Would it just be airborne? Would it just go from person to person? Or like, that's what I'm curious to see. Like, what do you think about that when it comes to this virus?
The scourge virus.
It's funny as fuck that it just we got two soup viruses in both of these
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. I really think it'll be like some airborne shit, man. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they just be breathing into it. Like whatever it is gonna be. That's
Hmm.
one thing that we can count on. Like these writers, they write some crazy shit. So I got high level expectations, and like they better have it used. Don't
Hmm.
build up this whole storyline of a virus if it never gets exposed. Because what's the point? There's no payoff there.
Yeah.
They got to pay that off.
Yeah, I feel like whether it's just like one injection or some, or it just gets spread out, like, yeah, it has to get exposed just about a little bit. And I honestly think, man, I think that's how Kamiko goes, honestly, is the virus. Cause hey, you remember when old boy Samir jabbed her with the virus in season 4? I thought it was a wrap because
Yeah.
you see just how fast it just started to affect her. Like, it just goes like that. So, my God. So, speak and you want to talk about this virus, and we haven't even spoke about the seven, like how do you think they're gonna go out? Because number one, I'm gonna sit here and say Firecracker, that bitch is dead. That bitch is deader than dead, up out of there. Black Noir, I don't know what they do with him. The Deep, I feel like you gotta let Starlight kill him. Honestly, I feel like Starlight has to be the one to kill him.
Deep is funny as shit.
Yeah. How do you feel about the other characters of the seven?
I feel like they're all dispensable. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they could all die. Like
Yeah.
I'm expecting a complete and utter bloodbath because of what this show has already been. And again, like
Mm-hmm.
it's the last season. Why should any of these people make it? Kill everybody. That's what this is, you know. And if you're doing the virus storyline, like that's the easy way to make that the case, you know. And there's gonna be a war on top of that. So I don't think the seven are gonna be. Homelander might not even need a seven no more. He might kill them. You know what I mean? If he gets to be president, yeah, things are gonna change for the seven.
Yeah, the one character that I'm curious about because she got this little motivation, you know who I'm talking about, is Sister Sage. I really want to know what her ultimate end game is. Like, do you have any inkling or idea like what she's ultimately trying to do? Like, do you think she has her own goals? Is she trying to ultimately fuck over Homelander in the end? Like, what do you think when it comes to this character?
I definitely think she has her own goals.
Hmm.
Everybody does. There's no way that she just loves Homelander and she wants to like nah. There's some hidden agenda there, and I think she'll ultimately die too, because
Yeah.
anyone that's in Homelander's proximity, man, like if you piss him off or you do something stupid, he's gonna kill you. Like he's not gonna put up with none of that shit. And I feel like he's put up with her a lot.
Hmm.
You know, and in this final season when the stakes are high, like if she's on that bullshit, he not gonna hesitate to kill her or anybody else around him. So I think she'll go. And I find her annoying kinda too. You know what I mean? So I find her annoying. She could go.
Yeah, Sister Sage, I think she's a ball out of there, but because she's so smart, I can see her scheming and manipulating a way for her to make it out ultimately at the end. But it's going to be very interesting to see her role. But I heard from reviews that she doesn't have too big of a presence throughout most of the season, but towards the end, like she does get her time to shine some more. So it's going to be very curious to see. Transitioning to this next character who we have not spoken to yet, but I have a pretty hot take and wild prediction. Now, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I've also seen in reviews that this character does not have too much to do in this final season, that he's not used to too much. And so it might benefit. My honest prediction towards the end is that Ryan, my prediction is that because we see a scene of Homelander beating down on somebody, but we don't see who it is. My honest opinion is that that person that Homelander is beating down on is Ryan, and that Homelander will ultimately kill his own son. What do you think of that? My hot take?
Oof, that's heavy. That's heavy. I don't know. I don't know if I can see Homelander killing Ryan. I feel like Ryan is the only person Homelander cares about, like in the whole planet. But I could see it if Ryan betrayed him, like he sided with that whole
Hmm.
coalition, Starlight and them. If he sided with them, I could see them. He could see him definitely killing him because I mean I'm sure he knows by now like Homelander isn't what he thought he was. He's evil and a killer and a murderer and not a good superhero. So I wouldn't be surprised if his son opposed him, kind of a little bit of pushback there. But, if you're his enemy, I don't think Homelander's going to hesitate.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way Ryan rejoins Homelander. There's no fucking way because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be conflicted, but for surely, like Ryan knows the truth that Homelander raped his mom to conceive him. Like that's just that he raped his mom to conceive him, so that's what's gonna be. Just so like there's no way. So and that's why I honestly feel because in the shot in the trailer when Homelander he says there's some non-believers and then he says backstabbers and they cut to a shot of Ryan and we see just small shots of Ryan, him being chased by like these soldiers, like people coming after him. So it could be a situation where he did turn on his dad and he's got some folks trying to come after him. And maybe there's a scene because I honestly do think that Homelander is beating down on Ryan. Now, whether he kills him in that scene, who knows? But I honestly do think like there's going to be a scene where Ryan confronts his dad and like everything is just coming down on Homelander. The flight video is leaked. Ryan even sees that that may be even an ultimate, even more contributing factor to him finally believing Butcher about the truth about his dad, and that he confronts him, and maybe that's where he meets his demise. So, if you were to pick, do you think Ryan ultimately dies at the hands of his dad, or is Ryan ultimately one of the key figures that help takes down and kills his dad?
Likely one of the key figures, just because
Mhm.
he's Homelander's only real weakness.
Mhm.
Especially if he gets like this immortality thing, Homelander. If you want to get close to him, you got to get close to Ryan. So Butcher's obviously close to him. I think he'll be able to leverage that in some way to backdoor Homelander. So I think Ryan will be safe. I don't see a reason to kill him.
Yeah, because he might be one of the figures, like one of the young figures, who knows, that joins the Gen V team and they lead the new Resistance or something. Who knows when it comes to Ryan? But ultimately, what I'm predicting, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with my bold prediction. I'm gonna predict that Homelander ultimately kills Ryan in the end. And that's gonna be because I think that may be ultimately something else that pushes Butcher over the edge and want to really go all out and just kill every soup on Earth and him not give a fuck about Starlight and Kamiko anymore. But who knows? Ultimately, we shall see. In my honest opinion, so that is all the characters. So it's we predicted half of these characters are to die. Well, actually, like 80% of them, and a major point of it all throughout the series of The Voice, which there's not like a true. I mean, Homelander is a figure of them. He is them, but they are ultimately a corporation that's fought. And how do you think it's going to end for the company of Vault in the end? Do you think that that company is ultimately going to fall, or they're just going to ultimately slowly recover in the end, as most corporations do, and just operate more so in like a shadows type figure?
Oh, no, they're gonna fall. I
Hmm.
think that's one of the main reasons why Homelander's trying to become president because he realizes like what they did to him and why he is what he is. They
Hmm.
made him into lie, bro. You know what I mean? And literally like ruined his life and took control of his life. So if there's anyone that wants to get revenge against Vought, it's Homelander, you know. And we've seen the interactions with him and his name who was running Vought.
And Edgar.
Yeah, like he couldn't stand that man, bro. So I think Vought has to fall, you know. Hence why they're doing this prequel, Vought Rising, so we can see how they have to kind of come up. Because Vought is really the problem with everything that's going on. Them
Yeah.
creating these soups and shit, bro, like they literally ruined the world.
Literally.
Yeah.
And so we speaking of Stan Edgar, what how do you feel like he's a very slippery, slimy character to where he's another character where I can ultimately see him making it out in the end and him also being a key contributor to trying to take down Homelander. Like, how do you feel about Stan Edgar and do you think he'll play a key pivotal role in taking down Homelander ultimately?
I think you should, considering
Mhm.
like he's one of the smartest characters on the board, and he understands how to control Homelander. I think better than anyone else. So I think he should play a part. Like he was helping lead the Gen V characters, so like I expect him to pop up at a certain point. And he was in season 4. He had a decent role towards the end, so should see him again. And he's a great actor, so just off of that, I want to see him again.
Yeah, and we've seen him have a small interaction with the team of the boys minus Butcher. And it's going to be interesting to see him how he's going to feel just looking at them ultimately, because we got to remember Vicky is damn near like his own daughter, even though it's not blood, but she pretty much was like a daughter to him, and he Butcher killed her, and so I'm curious to see how that dynamic is going to be and how they're going to be able to work together. But ultimately, in the end, I feel you and me think that it's good they're gonna have to work together because Homelander is the ultimate threat in the end. Yep. So
Absolutely.
so yeah, Stan Edgar and a character. There is a certain character we have not seen since season 3, and they wrote the character off pretty well. But based on the circumstances of everything, I could very much see this character making a return, especially because of Homelander be trying to be immortal and all that, especially with the flight video coming out. It's Queen Maeve. Queen Maeve. Do you think we see Queen Maeve return this season and will she have a big role?
Yeah, I think I definitely the way they kind of wrote her off was very slick. Like I didn't even really peep it, you know,
Hmm.
because there's so many other great characters in the show. But I could definitely see her being one of the reasons the Homelander gets taken down because seemed like he had a soft spot for her a little bit. So I
Hmm.
definitely expect her to play a part in Homeland. It's gonna take a lot of people working together to take down this man Homelander, bro. They need everybody. If Soldier Boy's on his side, yeah, they need everybody.
Literally, and I think if that video gets leaked out, that fly video, I think she gonna see that, and that's really gonna make her reemerge. Like, hey yo, shit must have really hit the fan for y'all to release this video. So I
Yep.
think that may be the catalyst to bring her back out for shortly. And so with this show coming to an end, man, like what do you think a perfect ending would possibly be for this show in your opinion?
I would say with this virus going out, a lot of soups dying, but not all the soups dying. And then you
Hmm.
kind of have like Hugh and Starlight emerge as, the leaders of the new age or whatever. And Butcher, maybe in the end he redeems himself and chooses to save people or whatever. Like it just gotta make sense for real. Just don't give us something lazy, Don't Game of
Hmm.
Thrones it, and they'll be fine. Be consistent to what you've told throughout the story. Give us those payoffs. Kill these people that deserve to die, and let the people live that deserve to live, and we'll be good. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, for me, it's just, man, the thing that'll just land the show perfectly is how you end the character of Homelander. I think that is a pivotal moment to this show. How you end that character is gonna determine how well we're gonna be able to look at this show overall as a series. So I think you kill Homelander in the most glorious way. Let Butcher be the one to get the final blow or something like that. That will be very satisfying to see. And with Butcher going out, I could see a scenario where Butcher he ultimately has Huey take him out. A la like Huey had to take out his dad in season 4. Like, what do you think about that?
that'd be pretty wild.
Hmm.
Considering like it started with them two, you know what I mean? So that could be a possibility if again, like Hugh is one of those characters that kind of turns to the dark side and really loses his humanity. It wouldn't surprise me. But somebody got to take down Butcher.
Yeah, because maybe Butcher is just too off the rails, and that
Yeah.
tumor is just taking control of him, and like everybody's electing maybe not to release the virus, and he's still hell bent on it, and maybe Huey just sees that, and he's just like, "Yo, I gotta put you down. I gotta hit you with that old yeller," because it's really like their brotherhood that really like has carried the show and has really been the heart of it all. And like I think Huey's like the one character that can truly bring Butcher somewhat back down to earth, even though he gets under his skin. So maybe. So yeah, man. Before we wrap, man, who do you think? Who do you like? I'm pretty sure we outside of Homelander, which he is because he is the face of this show. Outside of Homelander, who do you think has been the MVP of this series throughout the past 4 to 5 seasons?
Butcher for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, like those are the two big dogs. Those are the two highest earners. Like those are the two people we tune in to see. Like their dynamic and them going after one or another is the best aspect of this show. And like again, Butcher's very similar, so like we gravitate towards him too. He just don't care. We
Mhm.
like people that don't care and that do what they want and that do bad, cool shit. And that's what
Mhm.
Butcher does. You know what I mean? Everybody fucks with him. And no matter how much he fucks up, like they still forgive him. So I
Mhm.
definitely think he's one of the biggest parts of the show. I think Huey's definitely one of the biggest parts of the show too. Starlight, like everybody. Everybody's on this show is like huge. These characters are very big on the internet. They
Mhm.
all have huge fan bases. So like they just gotta land this shit perfectly and slide into a rising and we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Butcher has been my favorite character of the series from the jump. So he's easily my MVP and just the overall character journey that we've seen him on and the multiple layers that we've seen him because we've seen those moments of the light of maybe there is still light for him, but ultimately just the weight of the world and his hatred just ultimately consumed him at the end. His hatred for Homelander, his hatred for the soups, the fact that he lost his wife, and just everything that we've seen him go through, even through the little flashes we've seen of his childhood, his upbringing. Like, it's just nothing but a lot of darkness that we've seen this character of Butcher going through. And it just goes back to the similarities of him and Homelander. And just there's a lot of darkness that they had growing up, no true loving, nourishing, loving family energy, and just a lot of different things that just turned them into the characters that they are today. And it's just been great to see. And also my runner up for MVP is probably going to be MM, just because MM is the heart and soul of the boys. He's the true leader. Even though Butcher's the leader, he's the true like leader, the moral compass of the team. Because even to the point where Butcher and Huey was taking that temp V, he was the one that was sitting there saying like there has to be a line drawn ultimately at the end. Like he was the one reminding them like, yo, if we take this drug and get powers, would that just make us hypocrites? It was him that was saying that, and then he got Frenchie along with him like, yo, this is just hypocritical of us. We can't do this. This is the one thing that we're fighting against. So yeah, him and Butcher and MM are my two MVPs of the series. What's the name? I got a fun question for you. because I want to talk about this more in another video too. If you were given the opportunity to take Compound V, would you take it?
Absolutely not. Nah, because like you just don't know what's going to come of that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's too much that can go wrong if it don't react, if it kills me. And then like once you become a soup, you gotta live the life of a soup, which doesn't really end well. So
Mhm.
I would pass on that compound V.
Yeah.
I'm good.
See, you nailed it right then and there. Exactly what you said. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna get from that drug. Not everybody is gonna get the abilities of Homelander, and even Homelander, he was worked on even more in a lab. Him and Marie, like that's how they got the powers they got. You see some shit in that show, like even in Gen V, like this one lady, she had a fucking bee stinger coming out of her ass. Like you just don't know what it's going to do to you ultimately at the end. So that shit is just yeah, no, I'm with you. Fuck that Compound V shit. What's the name? All right,
Compound
last
V.
couple things. Hell no, last couple things. What has been the craziest moment of the show so far up to this point? I got one for you. I'll tell you the craziest thing for me is Herogasm, no doubt, and seeing that's getting blasted on like that. That was wild. So what is it for you?
I would say it was that one scene when they were in the courtroom with Newman and when they
Mm,
just started exploding out of nowhere and everyone was like, what the fuck? Like that was like crazy. That was
yeah,
like
that's a good
peak,
one.
yeah, peak boys. But there's so many moments. Like every episode, there's something where you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, why y'all doing this? So I
Hmm.
feel like I think we're gonna get even more moments like that this year because I don't know. I think it was the showrunner was saying that we're gonna see one of like the craziest scenes ever. Like they're gonna go there. So I'm nervous.
Yeah, I just hope less of the sex dungeon shit from season
Yeah,
4 and more of the
please.
season 3, season 2 shit. Because all that
Yeah,
I'm with all that wild shit, but I'm not for the shit they was doing in that dungeon at all. Like, no, we keep that shit as far away as possible.
hell
Oh
no.
my goodness. And finally, man, in just a few words, what's your expectations for season 5 and what do you expect out of it?
I expect it to be ripping, bloody, dramatic, high paced, like bloodbath, like from jump. Every episode got to be. We need to be wow, 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 wow. Like, that's what this show is, man. And hey, it looked like they got the budget, so they should have went all out. I'm expecting it to go all out. They got the money, so it's Amazon.
Yeah, man. I'm just expecting this final season to just be explosive. It's gonna feel
Yeah,
heavy, dramatically. You're gonna feel the weight of everything that's going on. This war between the boys and the Seven, essentially, and Vought, and just trying to fight off Homelander, getting immortality, and managing a suit virus. So, like you said, bloody, gripping, very emotional as well, as we're going to be losing a lot of characters we care about. And this is just going to be, I think I will go ahead and say this might be one of the best final seasons to a TV show of all time. And if this final season of the show is anywhere as good as seasons 1 through 3, I think I'll sit here and say that this is the greatest comic book TV show of all time, in my opinion. That's how high I'll go up.
ooh, wow. Invincible would definitely have something to say about
Man, listen. I love me
that.
some Invincible, and I've seen some folks saying, "Y'all over here talking about the boys and it's Invincible." Guess what? The boys, my boys, we gonna come back and remind folks what the fuck real TV is all about, man. We've been doing this since 2019, live action.
Mhm.
We're going out with a bang.
All right, hey, they set the bar high, so they better. That's what I'm expecting. We
Yeah,
waiting.
exactly. We set the bar, and we gonna raise it even higher, and we gonna go out with a bloody bang in this final season. That's what it is. Yes, sir. But that is all from me, you guys. I don't know, you guy, Mr. Power, if you got any more you want to add in regards to this final season of The Boys, expectations, or anything you want to say about it, or also letting everybody know where they could find you at on social media. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. You can find me at Mr. Power Universe on all platforms. And yeah, I'm just hyped, man. This has been one of the best years ever for TV and film. And it's only 4 months in. So just know these next few weeks, we got good content coming. This summer, we got good movies coming. Then winter, we got great movies. I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, this is gonna be something special, man. I'm so excited, man. I'm just grateful. I'm happy to be talking about the boys, and I'm grateful that the show is finally here. And pretty much for all of Tuesday, nobody bothered me from 5 p.m. till on, so leave me the fuck alone. But thank you all so much, you guys, for being here for this edition of the Fish Reel of us talking all things The Boys Season 5 preview and predictions. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms, k.fishflix at Instagram, fishflixfilms on TikTok, while also going ahead and subscribing to the YouTube page, man. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well if you can. This would greatly support the page. And be on the lookout for all future uploads coming out along the way from not only my page, but from my boy Mr. Power pages as well. He gave you all of his information, so be on the lookout for all the stuff that he has coming down along the pipeline too. But that is all from me, you guys. Hope you all have a great rest of you guys' evenings. Hope stay diabolical. Enjoy yourselves and get ready for this bloody, brilliant final season of The Boys. And we'll talk to y'all soon.